This one was, you can tell it's on the steps of that on the Methodist church I told you where we'd go and just to talk. And my cousin said, I didn't even think about it, but she looked at Shirley Gentry's hair, and she said, that had to have been a Saturday. The hair's all rolled it on bobby pins then, and I always put a scarf around it. So she was ready to get ready for church the next morning. That's Wayne Eves. It's Lois Eves' husband. He didn't live in Crawford, but these are just crazy pictures that we would make pictures, and I said all the time we could have been making a picture of the depot that I would love to have. We never got a picture of the depot, just our silly selves. But then this did get a good picture of the pump-up gas tank by the side of my uncle's station. You had to manually pump the gas up, and you'd see it come up into this glass part. So we did get a picture there. And we got a pretty good picture of the, we always called it the casket house right there. Way back, it was a store, but never during my time. It was the banker kept caskets in there, and Mr. Potts kept the cotton samples there.
Oh, so they kept caskets in there.
That's what I was told.
That's why they called it the casket house?
That's what I was told, that he kept caskets there. Our banker was an interesting fella. He went to New York to study, and he was an architect. He built some of the nice homes in Crawford. And so he was a banker and architect, and he sold caskets, evidently. And then he would buy, when houses would come up for sale, he would buy houses and resell them. My grandparents, the Hinkle and Lily Moore that lived next door here, and they bought their house, this house over here, from him. He had bought it from a family that was moving away. So he did do that. And so those are things that we love to do on Sunday, and we just use those little briny cameras, and no telling how many things we did shoot pictures of, but not all the pictures I'd love to have now. Now this was, I wanted to tell you about our Dr. Frazier. This was the doctor during my time. This is Dr. and Ms. Frazier here in Crawford. First, I understand that his office was behind the bank, and the bank is now the liquor store. And they told me that that building was a long building like the other store buildings, and the doctor's office was in back of it. But the bank was robbed, and they burned it. And then when Mr. Jack Irvin built it back, he built it back as a smaller building. Then later, Dr. Frazier bought this house, which was a Harvey, the Harvey house, Theodore Harvey, I believe. This was his home, and he's the one that gave the land for the cemetery at Oakland Cemetery. But Dr. Frazier moved his clinic here. He had rooms, beds in rooms for patients, and then later he added on a nursing home, was a wing that went to the east, and this is before it was added on. But this is, I'm standing out front with Benny Jeanette Perry in front of the, don't have a date on here, but this one will be back in the very early 50s, I imagine, or before.